The girl looked over the device. It seemed like a relic from her mother's time. What a piece of junk! How did it even work? She couldn't find a USB port anywhere on it. She hit the play button. Well, this wasn't that bad at all. The sound quality wasn't great, but at least whoever had used it last had decent taste in music. She had found the cassette player on the side of the street, just lying on the ground. Fortuitous timing, as her iPod had just stopped working the day before. A little strange, perhaps, to find such an old device, but it looked practically brand new and the batteries seemed fresh. She wondered why someone would have just tossed it out. Nevertheless, their loss was her gain. The cassette player reached the end of its spool. Not bad, she thought to herself. I could listen to that again. She rewound the tape to the start. Just as she was about to press play, an odd sensation came over her. She felt like she was leaving her body. Everything went black. She opened her eyes, the nausea and blurriness slowly leaving her. What was that about? She looked down to the cassette player, but found nothing in her hand. Her hand. That definitely wasn't her hand. She saw her friend Charlotte in the distance. She opened her mouth to call out to her.
Charlotte!
The voice wasn't hers either. She reached into her pocket and found an iPhone. She quickly turned on the camera and raised it to her face.
And you have no idea who owned the cassette player or how it works?
No, none. Am I gonna be stuck like this? Forever? I don't want to be a boy.
One step at a time, Mrs. Hickey. Just give me a moment, would you? Professor?
I know that item. It was contained, but disappeared a few years ago.
Oh, really? I don't remember this one.
That's because it pretty much killed you.
What?
Like that boy in there. You tested it upon yourself accidentally. At the time, we didn't know how it worked. It seemed to have removed your soul, but unfortunately for you, you weren't transferred to someone else like Miss Hickey.
Wait. Removed my soul. So what happened to my body?
In cryogenics.
I see. And what is the trigger for this SCP?
Simple, actually. Play the cassette from start to finish and rewind.
Huh. Then it shoots your soul into another body?
Well, not always.
Right. Poor me, I guess. Thank you for your time, Mr. Hickey.
Oh God, mister.
We'll see what we can do, but we'll need you to stay with us for a few days to run some tests.
Sure, why not? Not like I can walk around like this. Ew!
I want to do some experiments.
Absolutely out of the question. Too dangerous.
I'll use a D class this time.
Even if you could, it requires direct permission from a member of the O5 Council.
Well, why didn't you say so? I'll send the request immediately.
As you wish, but only D class. No agents, no researchers, nobody else.
You got it.
Coffee? I could use a coffee.
You bet. Wait a second, hold on.
What's up?
Remember that request I sent out to conduct experiments on that cassette recorder?
What about it?
It's been approved.
Already? That was like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. Not like them to be so quick. And get this, approved by 055.
This isn't what we agreed on, Chen.
Listen, you want to get out of here or not?
Well, yeah, but with my own body, preferably.
That's just not on the cards. How do you think I was going to get you out? Just walk out the front door? This is your chance. Take it or leave it.
Fine, but you better be right about this. I don't want to end up as a rat or a cockroach.
That'd be an improvement. Chen walked the D-Class into the testing chamber, thinking to himself, either he'll get out or he'll be dead. Either works for me. Claw sat at the table, the cassette player in front of him.
D-6385, did Agent Chen explain to you what you've got to do?
Yeah. Play the tape and rewind it.
Correct. Do not deviate from the orders.
Gotcha. Hey, Chen, better be sure.
Klaus and Chen left the room. He sat down and hit the play button. The music was pretty catchy, to be fair. As the tape player clicked at the end of the reel, he hit the rewind button.
Here we go.
The player clicked as it finished rewinding. Almost immediately, he fell face first onto the table. D6385. D6385. He's still alive.
Get him to a CT scanner! It's as the professor said.
And what did the prof say?
He's comatose. He's alive, but his brain activity is flat. Like he's brain dead.
This is exactly how it happened 2 years ago. Klaus listened to the cassette player as the music came to an end. He looked up at the professor and shrugged,
Nothing much so far.
then hit the rewind button. As it reached the beginning of the tape, he slumped over in the chair. Klaus! The professor checked his pulse. He's alive. Get him to the medic bay. His brain activity was flat. It was as if his soul had left his body. They put him into one of the cryogenic tubes and shut the door. There wasn't anything else they could do for the moment. Is the new one ready? The technician nodded his head. Okay, let's wake up the new Klaus. But why didn't Klaus or the D-class jump to another body, like the kid? That's what we don't know, but it's too dangerous to keep experimenting like this until we have a better understanding of the machine.
Agreed.
Dr. Klaus, you're not going to believe this.
The D-class sat in the room, her baby on her lap.
Is this a joke?
Absolutely not, sir. Heard it with my own ears.
All right then, let's have a look. Good afternoon, Klaus?
You saw a one good-looking fella.
If you are who you say you are, what's your favorite anime? We don't have a favorite, but JoJo ranks up there. Oh god, you really are me!
Told you, didn't I?
How did this happen?
The tape recorder. It transfers your soul into the youngest body around.
So that's how it works. And you were transferred into this D-class unborn baby?
Yeah, but that's not even the half of it.
They were in a featureless world. The ground was white and the sky blue. The horizon disappeared into the distance, endlessly. In front stood a doorway with an imperceivable light shining through.
So, it was heaven?
I don't think so. Either some world or some interdimensional religious type of purgatory.
All around were tall beings, resembling humans, but their faces were wrong. Their features were assembled randomly, and each one had 2 to 4 limbs coming out of their heads. But not just human limbs, animals too.
Did they speak?
Not in words, but through their minds.
Telepathy.
Not quite. It was like the world was translating it for us.
Some of the figures sat, playing card games and betting with oddly shaped coins. As it won the game, it took the coins to a machine labeled Skill and deposited them. A piece of paper came out with the words, "You will be blessed with great athletic capabilities, with a particular aptitude for marksmanship." The being then walked through the doorway and disappeared.
And what about you?
Well, when I woke up in that world, I was in front of that door, but facing the wrong way. I couldn't go through it no matter how hard I tried.
Did you play the games?
No, I never did. After a few days, I just disappeared. Next thing I know, I'm a friggin' baby inside her.
We need to take Klaus back to cryogenics.
Who, me?
Just the small one. Don't worry, we'll see if we can get you back into your body.
This file has been redacted under orders of 05-5. No further investigation will be necessary. The Foundation thanks you for your efforts.
Did that voice sound familiar?
Sounded a bit like... but it couldn't be.
Sounded like Cyrus's butler.
In another cell, deep in the Foundation's penal colony, a young mother held her infant child as she slept.
Damn it, Jen. You're gonna pay for this.
SCP-6018. Object Class: Safe. 6018 is a cassette player with a cassette tape inside, containing the song Born This Way by Lady Gaga. To date, all attempts to disassemble SCP-6018 and examine its inner workings have been unsuccessful. 6018 displays its anomalous properties when being played in its entirety and rewound to the beginning of the tape by a single individual. When operated in this manner, 6018 will transfer the consciousness of the individual who played and rewound it into a new, living body. 6018 will always select the youngest living human within 100 meters as a target vessel. The vessel that the user leaves enters a comatose state and dies if left unattended. No evidence of the previous consciousness of the target vessel has yet been observed, and, at this time, the consciousness lost this way are presumed dead. 6018-1 is an extra-dimensional anomaly that can be accessed by utilizing 6018 in the vicinity of a pregnant woman. 6018 is to be contained in a secure item storage locker when not in use for testing. Tests may no longer be conducted with pregnant women in the effective range of 6018 without clearance from a member of the O5 Council.
Heaven, the afterlife, reincarnation. Different religions have varying ideas on what happens after death. Your beliefs, or lack thereof, are your own, but never try to enforce them on others.
As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell.